be CZH's time to shine again.
Yep, you called it, we called it, I called it, the chat probably called it
Probably as well, of course.
But yeah, we see here the Cursed Hollow as map number 2, chosen by SPT, with CE opting for first pick.
Yeah, absolutely amazing to see Cursed Hollow back in the mix. It's been one of those battlegrounds that has remained largely, you know, unpopular in China. It's actually, I think, the second or third game we're ever casting on this. So quite interesting in seeing what SPT has prepared for us.
Yeah. May I ask you to take over the draft for a second? I appear to have a phone call.
Absolutely, go ahead. And I'm going to guide you through this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just you and me now. And we're going on to Cursed Hollow, as we announced here. Now, Cursed Hollow has a couple of heroes, of course, that work particularly well in this battleground, right? We have to mention Abathur, the global pressure. He provides the building repair that he provides as well, you know, with that mule, can be life-saving after a curse. For example, when your fort drop down to 20%, you're going to patch it back up right there. Another hero that comes to my mind personally is Tyrael. Although Tyrael hasn't really seen a lot of play in pro play, I think Cursed Hollow is still one of his best battlegrounds, especially if you want to go that Holy Ground route. There's many choke points, there's many places where you can lock people in, lock them out. The boss control potential is going to be very important to look out for both teams. So as a result, we could actually see a Dahaka again. We could see a Falstad, two heroes that we already saw last game, with pretty decent impact, I want to say, as well. I think both Falstad and Dahaka added a lot to the respective team compositions. And if only Zhuyu on that Falstad had a couple of more lucky gusts, I might want to say, against that Bloodlust. But who really expects the Bloodlust, right? Who expects the Rhaegar to go full face mode when all you wanted to do is isolate someone with a gust and you wasted only to realize, dang it, should have saved it for the Bloodlust. Alright, now we see once again these same exact bans here. And I do not understand, guys, I do not understand why CE keeps banning out the Genji every single time. It is one of Alufal's strongest heroes, and no disrespect to Alufal, but he doesn't really look as impactful on Hanzo as he normally does on a Genji. So it's really weird. I understand that Melody C is probably a very scary opponent to face on the Genji himself. However, denying it from Alufal when you are even first pick, I'm just not sure what their plan is. Maybe they want to get the Irel again. No, they go for the Abathur Tetcher. And we talked about this. Such a good hero on Cursed Hollow.
Got back just in time, as we do have the Abathur coming in. I have no idea who it was. Apparently the number didn't accept incoming calls. So
did they maybe try to reach the Lord?
Maybe. I don't know. It was like a business number, so I wasn't sure if it was like the hospital or something.
Are you still a Lord?
I had to ring back. Either way. Yeah, I don't think it expires. I have no idea. Either way, Abathur as the first pick for CE. They are very experienced and proficient with said hero.
Yeah, Abathur, I mean, he offers so much to it. There's a lot of heroes that actually synergize really well with him. A lot of good copy targets. Could be a mage like Jaina, for example. It could be a strong auto attacker like a Greymane. But which route do they want to go for? The Dahaka counter on the Abathur. I'm loving it. How do you counter an Abathur? With global play. So you try to pressure him on multiple fronts. You're trying to out-soak him. That's why the Vikings, for example, are really, really nice if your team comp allows it.
Although, once again, we have no idea if they can play the Vikings. But
we should probably say if your region allows it, and China doesn't allow it.
Yes, that's a marvelous that's a marvelous way to put it. So then, we've the Abathur already versus immediately a global.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dahaka is a really solid lineup here. You need something. You need a very good team fight comp now. Something that forces Dahaka to leave as soon as possible. Something that he can, something to force him down to join in. So a little bit of Jaina, perhaps. A little bit of Genji, but Genji's banned. So we're going down to heroes like, I guess, I'm thinking the clone targets here. Mm-hmm. Zeratul, a fantastic one.
That's a really good one. Who's going to play it, though? Is it going to be Zhuyu? I don't think Alufal plays it. Not really the melee type of guy, and I don't think KTY is good enough mechanically to do it.
I think he's good enough mechanically. It's the question of whether he is experienced enough on the hero. I would say Zhuyu is probably the go-to hero player to do it, though.
It really shows you. Like, either way, it shows you how flexible these players are in China. Like, going from a Zeratul, or from a Falstad, potentially, into a Zeratul, it's like 2 different worlds. It's a completely different playstyle. Yet Zhuyu can probably pull it off.
Quite. I would agree. I mean, he can play any of the heroes so far that we've seen. We've actually seen him on Malfurion once. He lost, but we've seen him do it. So yeah, Zhu, the god. Give him anything, he'll play it. Give him Probius? Yeah, sure. Give me Nova? Yeah, sure. How many wins would you like? As we see Cassia as the ban here.
Yep, Cassia ban, of course, makes a lot of sense. If they wanted to go... Or does it really make a lot of sense? Huh.
I guess it does, depending on what assassins SPT want to take, and if they want a Bloodlust comp again.
Oh, I see what you're trying to bait us into, Tetcher. You know what? Why not? If you play against an Abathur composition with Zeratul, that is already a very aggressive route to basically. What? Okay, that must be some inside information right there.
It's gotta be. They've done it before, but
we saw it last week.
Not often.
Like, we saw one game of Zarya. I'm not sure if it was Cursed Hollow. I don't think so.
I am on it right now. It was Infernal Shrines versus RPG. It was the triple tank, Zarya, Stitches, Leoric, and then a Hanzo chucked in by SPT with Malfurion as support. So none of the heroes currently to set up for that. But SPT, they have played it only once so far.
Zarya messes up a lot of the initial burst damage from a Zeratul. If the shield comes in time, Zeratul can't even chase down that target anymore. So I guess this was probably like a 2-folded ban. First of all, they wanted to prevent SPT from playing it again because it looked very terrifying last week. And secondly, they want to allow Zeratul free reign when it comes to chasing and hunting down people.
So we see the Deckard Cain and the Phoenix coming in straight away. That is fine. I mean, Deckard can do okay against Zeratul, but he also can get absolutely dominated.
Yeah, absolutely true. I think that's correct. Now, I'm really curious to see which warrior Wind is going to play. Like, the Garrosh is still open. Garrosh would also be very, very good with Abathur. But there's another warrior that I could see here, maybe, and that would be another Stitches. I don't know, man. Putrid Bal?
Not as good with the Abathur.
Diablo, maybe, if you want to go VP Apocalypse.
That's a possibility that I'm slightly more leaning towards. Johanna as well is a sort of destruction engine, the actual tank part of the tank to Abathur's turret.
Maybe be a Turiel if you wanted to go for this infamous death ball where you just... Nah, it's going to be the Diablo. There we go.
Right. Very burst heavy. Yeah. All on that burst style. All right. Cool. Rock and roll. I don't mind that at all. Like I said, very burst heavy. Lots of potential there. SPT, they need another damage dealer. It's probably someone who can deal with the Diablo but survive the Zeratul. So I'm thinking along the lines of Tychus.
Tychus could make a lot of sense. He's also very sturdy compared to other ranged assassins. If he goes for the Odin, that's already giving him unstoppable in the channel animation and 25 armor baseline. You can also go for your level 4 talent. What is it called? Soldier. Relentless Soldier. Yeah, here we go.
Indeed. And also, I believe that's level 7, not 4.
It is level 7, you're right.
Hurrah. I know things.
Oh,
and Sergeant Hammer. Interesting. Sergeant Hammer is either going to decimate Zeratul, or get caught in a Void Prism and just be deleted.
You know what else? What else Sergeant Hammer could do? She could just pressure the ish out of Abathur. So I like this playstyle. I think if SPT plays this well, and for example, let's the Haka do a double soak, and they basically unite all their efforts into one lane, I can see a way in which an early Abathur team is going to stop the siege from happening.
I don't know how I feel about these two drafts versus each other. I think that the front line for that Sergeant Hammer is absolutely monstrous. We already know Deckard works really, really well with Sergeant Hammer. I don't know. The dive potential from CE is really good.
It is.
The knockback from Hammer, though, is such a good counter. I think that SPT might have done it with that Hammer pick just for the knockback potential.
The knockback potential, the unstoppable potential there as well. The Deckard protection. We mentioned this so many times. Deckard, the ideal support for a Sergeant Hammer because you can really baby feed all those potions into the Sergeant Hammer. The good thing about Hammer Tetcher in this regard is she doesn't move that much, so it's easy to land your potions onto that hero. You normally don't say that very often. But anyways, guys, is the early aggression potentially from the Sergeant Hammer SPT composition enough to crack the Abathur full aggression composition coming in from CE? We're going to find out in a bit as we go live into the Cursed Hollow. And on the left-hand side, representing the blue faction here, it is SPT, the super perfect team. With Lucky on Phoenix, Melody C's playing the Hammer. We've got Misaka on Muradin, So playing the Dehaka, and CZH back on Deckard Cain.
And on the right, it is Chal End with a Luful on Abathur, Wind on the Diablo, 365 on Malfurion, KTY on Zeratul, and Juyu on the Li Ming. We could not have been more wrong about who was playing what.
All right, Wind in the end playing the Dibbles, and we see KTY on that Zeratul. We expected Zuyu to be there, and it's a Luful to be the Abathur once more. Seems to be a pet peeve of his. He really has quite the affection, it seems, and look at that. The ambush talent going live for Sergeant Hammer. Literally hammering on that bottom tower, and Misaka already interrupting the rotation. Melody C just cruising back out of reach from Wind on the Dibbles. And so far, this plan is already working out quite nicely for SPT.
So far, it is with, once again, Misaka just being the body to protect Hammer from any kind of shots. They don't look like they're willing to move up to tower range, at least yet. Diablo just too scary for that.
Yeah.
They're quite happy to wait until that Hover Siege is online for that particular motive.
And as long as they see 3 members of CE chilling in the bottom lane, I think this is the go-to signal for Dehaka to just push as hard as he can, you know? He doesn't have to worry about Diablo gangs, he doesn't have to worry about Zeratul because he's constantly showing up in middle. So, yeah, already some good pressure against the buildings, but Aluful actually using his body and the symbiote to provide a little bit of shielding onto the gate.
It's KTY clearing up these mercenaries as quick as he can. With the help of Juyu now, this will not take them too long, which is lovely. Abathur going to be trying to soak 2 lanes at the moment. No little crown on the minimap yet, though, so hard to see where he is soaking currently. He also needs to be careful, once again, of course, for his body.
Yeah, and every time you take a mercenary camp against the Sergeant Hammer composition, every time you focus your attention away to a different part of the map than where the Hammer is, then you give them the free move, you give them a tower here. Misaka actually slowing down the rotation. Can't escape the fangs of Zeratul. That was really close. The potion almost made it into the hands of Muradin, but you know, he bought enough time, I feel like, to give them a little bit of experience there. But look at the mercenary camp. That was actually a nice move. They're going to get some towers in return. CE, that is. This might be a really good experience contribution to close the gap.
See them pushing up. We will see this second tower go down as well, thanks to the fact that the Bruiser camp is still up. It's going to be pretty close, actually. Phoenix is taking down that lane very quickly. And Diablo, 1, 2, 3 auto attacks is what it took. One more fire breath might be enough. No, it lived and he went down. Oh, there we go. Juyu picks it up, but Diablo going down was not worth that.
No, we all know that feeling, right? Just one more tickle, just one more attack. I can do it, right? Oh, snap. Looks like I couldn't do it. And Zuyu now in trouble as well. Gets another blink. Can KTY body block? No, he can't.
Sniped by the Arsenal synergy, and Zuyu is down as well, and this is backfiring very much. Sorry, KTY goes down as well. Tribute picked up, kills picked up. This is bad news.
Thatcher, one auto attack by Diablo snowballed out of control and led to this misery for CE. Not only losing the first tribute of the game, but also falling behind an entire level in experience. And that as an Abathur who already struggles in the early game. It's going to be so hard for them to find their rhythm now.
So now then, 365, like you said, with their rhythm messed up, they don't exactly have much wave clear either. Merly C is staying very far back, doesn't want to get ganked, actually. So nice to see he's at least playing safe despite their lead. I do enjoy that. Not worth the counter here, not worth being the counter kill.
Yeah, absolutely. I like what Misaka is doing. He's trying to find those toxic nests there, but Abathur clear those up. It's actually going to be a full toxic nest build coming in here from Abathur. That's, I think, the second time we saw this approach by a Lufo.
Yeah, it's interesting. It slows down the rotations at least. Emerald followed very quickly. Oh, Dahaka, very much on your own. They decide to try and run away instead of turn as KTY is forced to blink out. And this is probably just going to be tribute number 2.
Tribute number 2 it is. Without the main escape tool on the Zeratul, there's no way he can actually go for those cheeky plays, for those good interrupts. And depending on how quickly the third tribute is now going to spawn Tetcher, I think this might already be a super early level 10 lead for SPT, because sometimes those tributes arrive super late. And as such, give enough time for the soak for SPT.
KTY dodging any extra hits here, zoning away anyone from SPT from his team. With the full level lead, like you said, this is going to become a potential issue.
Sergeant Hammer, I can't commend Melody C enough for how carefully he's going to play this. Look at that stealth. Diablo all of a sudden can't even charge anymore. Good knockback and good thrusters, and he is safe. Easy peasy.
Thrusters saving his life there, boosting himself out of danger and into freedom as he is able to keep himself safe. Mule now online for the Abathur, and very sensibly so, once again, due to the fact that Sergeant Hammer keeps pushing the lanes.
15 seconds until that third and potentially final tribute is going to spawn here to give over that curse to SPT. They're desperately trying to get that level 10 online, but I don't think they can. Also, the position is really good for CE. It's well protected by terrain. But look at that Misaka. He's trying to fake a little bit of aggression. Or is he faking? Is he trying to escape? Yeah, he saved his Dwarf Toss all the way until the end to buy a little bit of time. Deckard, the long distance poke, interrupting the channel. Level 10 is almost here.
Not enough. CE, they can't do anything. If level 10 hits, this would be so hard for them to fight. There it is. Zeratul with a quick delay finds himself completely surrounded, gets deleted. Salvo has no one left because the only target is just super dead. BFG comes from downtown as well. Very much a late move there. Well, in the meantime, Sergeant Hammer is taking bot fort, and it will die.
And now with the curse online, they are going to struggle even more. CE, that is, look at that. They tried to be the ones actually turning on the aggression, right? They sacrificed a couple of things that every good drafts need on Curse Hollow, and that is, for example, wave clear. That is, for example, the rotation maneuvers, right? And they were actually the ones getting initiated upon. By mistakes here, they allowed SPT to find their rhythm, and I think now they're going to get so much snowballing potential. Look at that. Every single fort was destroyed, and the keeps are not guaranteed to survive either.
They're not, in fact, guaranteed to survive. We're seeing the towers going down. KTY, a little bit of damage on the Sober route lands, but they're not in range to really counter him. There's no towers to push him under, so Dahaka able to retreat fairly safely here. As a keep begins they begin the assault on one of the keeps. Like you said, it's not guaranteed to live here at all. As CE moves in for the defense, but it's already down to half health.
What are you gonna do against that Sergeant Hammer lurking in the back? Look at that. So many potions placed around him as well. So many potions. Level 10 is here now. VP, Apocalypse. Those are the Hail Mary tools that they need to somehow find their way back. The copy's taking as much damage as they can. Here goes the two-man VP and the Apocalypse right underneath.
KTY has set this up, but the sleep denies all follow-up. Zhuyu is dead. The Twilight Dream buys 365 some time, but Win shall die here. This is going to be this is going to put the final kill count, or the current kill count, at 6-1. With a keep taken down as well, SPT are running away with this.
Yeah, they're running away with this lead indeed, and they're not done just yet. Look at that. They realize all we need to do, folks, is take that boss, push with it, and get ourselves the second keep of the day. Maybe even if we get another kill, like we did in that team fight, we can even go for the core. Now, Lucky, look at that protection. He doesn't even break a sweat. There is no danger here whatsoever. CZ8's got his back covered, and he's going to take one kill at a time. Beautiful.
Beautiful indeed. As we see the Sergeant Hammer taking care of the boss with help. Soap is just stealing the enemy Merc camp, and there's nothing they can do about it. because they know everyone else will be on the way. Zhu being forced to back up. So winning that 2v1 there against him. And it's looking good. Just waiting. Seeing if anyone will take the risk to try and take this. And instead we'll just load it down to me.
Protecting the mercenaries, that is the name of the game. And Soap anticipates every single skill shot from Li Ming. Well, almost every single one of them. Keeps those mercenaries safe and sound for as long as possible, so they pave the way for the boss. And now the big boy has arrived. He's tearing down those structures like it was no big deal whatsoever. Murden, Misaka tries to go for 365, doesn't land the Sword Bolt, but it's only a question of time until that bottom keep is going to be no more.
Tabitha was body soaking, but he's dropped the clone onto Zeratul. This could be their last defense, actually, as this boss still has a fair amount of health. Juyu in trouble. Alufal into the backline as Misaka is burning the Avatar, buying him some time. VP's pretty good. Alufal putting the pressure on. KTY is isolated. He's getting salvoed, and KTY is gone. The boss is also gone, though, so CE might actually be able to survive here.
Yeah.
But look at the health bars. Juyu is about to be the only person potentially left alive, and there's no one in near reset range for him.
They got to be really careful here. The mule is there. Li Ming needs those resets. He needs to make it happen right now, but I think it's going to be too little too late, Tetcher. SPT dismantles CE, in 10 minutes on Cursed Hollow. CE, unfortunately, outdrafted, outnumbered, and outgunned. There was nothing left for them to be taken here.
Well played by SPT. They take it to 2-0, and, well, they have extended their lead at the top of the table. With that win, they move up to 14 points, 2 ahead of the 1.
Absolutely amazing. I think SPT really showed us what they're made of. They flexed their muscles, and they showed us that they're still here to represent, the former glory status that they had. They are a 3-time China champions, I believe. And they are here to maybe take yet another title. And most importantly, and that I think to them is a question of pride and honor, they want to get back on that international stage. Eastern Clash, BlizzCon, those are the tournaments they don't want to miss out. They missed the midseason brawl, which is big dishonor for them. But they will be back if they continue playing like this.
Indeed, they will. But for now, CE. What are you going to do about them? They are stuck down here at the bottom of the table now, pretty much. They have 7 points, 8. They are only 4 points ahead of the A team. And they are still tied with KT, who were just not able to get a victory. Oh, no, KT got 1 point, right? Didn't they?
KT got 1 point against RPG today, yes.
So, yeah, CE are behind KT. CE are in 6th place.
That is dangerously close to a Crucible place, my friend. And
yeah.
I'm not insane. I'm not going mad here, but I never thought this would happen. CE is in a serious slouch right now. They need to recover immediately. I think already it might be too late for the Eastern Clash, but maybe they need to find a way to fuse their team together and, get back on the winning track. That's all they need to do right now. Find their rhythm back again, and keep in mind, the playoff stage, it's this ladder system, right? They can bounce back if only they find the rhythm and stabilize right now.
Yeah, they can. Well, nicely done by SPT, with CE having to, as Kendrick says, bounce back and find their rhythm again. Let's have a quick look ahead to see who they have the chance to stabilize their rhythm against. Well, CE, they have an immediate rhythm regenerator in the form of RPG as their first match tomorrow, closely followed by one of their first rematches. It's going to be Team Nut, which they did take 2-0 the first time.
All right. It must feel for CE like, being a professional arm wrestler, losing every contest, and then coming back home to beat your 9-year-old son. Maybe they can do that tomorrow against RPG. Of course, you should never underestimate the likes of RPG. They basically showed that they, too, can win some games today against KT in pretty dominant and spectacular fashion, actually. So, this is going to be the turning point potentially for CE. If they don't win this convincingly 2-0, I think they're never going to recover this phase, and they're going to have to take a longer break maybe to find back. Maybe do some roster changes, to be honest. They are the team, I think, that have been together the longest out of all the Chinese teams.
Yeah, I would... they have been, haven't they? I mean, none of the others have changed all the others have changed their rosters at least once. Yeah, you're right. It is absolutely CE with the longest roster ever since 365 joined. So here you see 8 kills to 1. Very clear story. Just marched across the map through bot lane and ended the game. That was quite brutal. The Abathur really not working out for CE there. Not able to make it work due to that hammer pressure. Nicely done.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. A wonderful game by SPT. It just snowballed out of control. And isn't it crazy to say it all started because of one auto attack on a tower that Win tried to get?
Yeah.
I think if you would actually look at that replay again and you would analyze it from start to finish, you would really see how it snowballed out of control from this one, I would almost call it beginner's mistake.
Yeah, so that one pre-20 kill, pre-100 souls kill was exactly what started everything to really go against them. So either way, very nicely played by SPT. I think I've said that 3 times now. Thanks, Brain. Need a rest. But CE, they have so much more work to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I really thought I liked this role swap that they did between KT and Zuyu, but if something isn't gelling in this team right now.
And they better figure out what it is very much ASAP, because there's